Good morning, everybody. How are you? Thank you for being here. Thank you and hello to my new subscribers. I appreciate it very much. I am going to share with you today something that I've been working on. I love working with envelopes. I don't know, it seems to be a thing lately. And so I made several little booklet holders. These little booklets are available in Walmart and I think Dollar Tree. This one has a very flexible cover, and I have some others that I bought in Walmart that I thought were the same, but they're not. And they are much stiffer. They're still flexible, but they're much stiffer. And these are the Mead brand. I don't know what these are. If you hear a noise in the background, that's my lovely printer. It's not quiet, but I need some more papers to make some more of these. So these are 5x7. I have an avalanche happening over here. I have my glue, and I have some digital papers printed off. Yes, things just went fine. Digital papers printed off. So if you'd like to pull up a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, or whatever, I'm going to show you what I've done. Now, these envelopes I happen to have had in my drawer. I think they're left over from Christmas cards. These are about 5.5 by 7. Yeah, 7 1/8. And like I said, these were already in my drawer. Don't know where I got them. But you can find envelopes this size. What you have to make sure of is that the envelope is a little bit bigger than your notebook. If you don't, you're not going to be able to get the notebooks in. But I made all of these. I've made this one. This one does not have a closure on it yet. I made this one. My husband, I showed him, and he said he didn't like my closure. He said I thought I could do better. So that's my closure. It's a brad, a pretty brad. But he said, you can do better than that. So I've been working on these since yesterday, and I made this one last night. And I did this one. It does not have a flap, which I like better, so I'm making more of these. And this is the one we're going to make today, similar. And I glued the muslin strip inside the papers. And then I just did a video, but I forgot to glue the muslin on the inside of the paper. So I made this one, but I deleted the video because it's not the way I wanted it to come out. But this one will also hold one of those notebooks, and I'm going to show you how to make the one with the muslin on the inside if I don't forget this time. So let's get started. So I have some digitals, and I have my envelopes, and I have my glue. So what I do is, you want this is not a tutorial. This is how I'm doing it. I need a sip of tea. I just talked for 45 minutes straight, and I'm not used to doing that. We are going to take the flaps of the envelopes and slide one inside the other. And you do not want to butt them up against each other because you won't have enough space to move. You do not want it to look like that. That's a no-no. What you want to do is you want to space them apart just a little bit, like 1/4 of an inch. Okay? And I use my mat, my grid mat, because if you line them up and you don't line them up correctly, when you close them, they are going to be wonky like this. And you don't want that. So I use my grid mat to line it up, and then I glue, and I watered this glue down not watered it down. I used nail polish remover. It's the acetone. It's got acetone in it. And I used too much. And then I filled it with my refill bottle, and I still put too much in it. So too much acetone in it. So I am going to put glue on this flap, but I'm not putting it all the way to the fold. Okay. And I am going to put this in here very carefully, leaving my little bit of space and lining it up on the line. That's going to be too much space. No. Well, it's in there now. That's what happens if you don't move fast enough. Okay. And then I just take this flap and I glue it down as well. Okay. And that should close okay. All right. Now, what I realized is you can take, this one's going to leave a little bit of space on the ends because of the way I just glued it a little far apart. And I have this beautiful paper from Antique Papery. But you can use a full sheet of paper on here. Now, if you want this covered in, you can put this at the top and fill in the bottom. You can put it at the bottom, fill in the top. What I've been doing is spacing it kind of evenly, and I either just ink it or I ink it and I put my crocheted edging along the edge. So, string. So that's probably what I'm going to do with this. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my muslin strip, while things fly out of my box at me, and I am going to put that down first. So I'm going to eyeball where the center is. And of course you've got the pointy part of the flap to kind of tell you where the center is anyway. And I'm going to line this up on my grid mat because straight and me do not agree. And I'm going to just run a bead of glue straight across, because if you want it to come out like the other one I showed you, you want to make sure that your fabric is under the paper. Because that's the part I forgot in the one in the last video, which you won't see because I have now deleted it. Okay, so we have that down, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to clean off this spout because there's all kinds of dried glue and everything else falling onto my paper. Okay, so I am going to I'm going to glue here. And I glue the edges. I'm not going all the way to the bottom because I know my paper doesn't reach to the bottom or the top. I'm leaving that space open. And you can do this on the paper or on the envelope. But since I have the envelope all nice and lined up, I'm going to do it on the envelope. I'm going to make sure I get it on the fabric. And this is by no means a tutorial. This is just me crafting, and I hope you're crafting along with me. And if you are, tell me what you made. Then you take the paper and center it over the envelopes and press down. And you really, I mean, this muslin, you really can't tell it's under there. I have so much glue on my hands, I can't feel my fingertips. Now, I have not stepped outside today, but my allergies, my nose is itching like crazy. All right. So, I don't cut the overlap off. You could, but I want the extra paper for my edges, because hopefully someone will use this and get a lot of use out of it. And I have not decided on whether I am going to spray these to protect them. But if you guys are used to using a spray or some sort of protectant, please let me know what you use. I don't like Mod Podge. I don't like the smell. I don't like Collage Podge because it buckles the paper. It's too watery. And I tried this matte medium. It's a clear, but it leaves a film. And I don't like that either. And these colors are so beautiful and vibrant. I have seen the clear protectant spray. If that's what you use and you like it, please let me know. I'm thinking of getting some today and trying it out. I'm going to be selling these at a maker's market in Maine, hopefully, in the beginning of September. So I am pretty much just making these for selling up there. And this is going to be for the inside, and this is one of my digital papers that I have made. And let's see if this is going to cover or not. And I just like to cover, it's a little squeezy, a little bit too squeezy. Does not want to go in. And you don't want anything bulky in here, because when you put that notebook in, it takes up a lot of room. The cover takes up quite a bit of room. So you don't want this paper to be too bulky. Like, I would not use a cardstock to put on the inside of this part. And it doesn't really matter what the paper is shaped, as long as it covers that part so that, you know, it's not white inside, right? You can use whatever paper you like. You can use, you know, some more of your digital. You can use tissue paper, although I'm not sure how well the tissue paper will hold up. So now I have to glue that in, and that's always a trick for me to get it placed right. So I am just going to leave the other side in there, and I am going to put a very light, because I don't think it needs to be really heavy on this part. And then lift this up. Try not to get glue absolutely everywhere. Not easy. Now I have glue on this other part, but it doesn't matter. It's okay, because we're covering that up. Okay, and then I'm going to take this piece out, and I'm going to glue around the edges there. Oops. And this will help reinforce the little binding for this. Just make sure that your openings have not have not glued shut. And there you have the inside. And now we're going to cover the outside here. So let's see. So I think I'll use this one because that matches pretty nicely. And what I do is I measure up to this opening here. And pretty much if you fold it in half with this size, you're going to have a little left over, but that's okay. And I've been using my paper cutter because last night I cut with scissors and I did okay. But when I'm on camera, I get in a rush because I know I have limited time. Because I don't want to lose you guys to boredom. And so what I do is decide where I want this. And I just put it to the edges like this. And I decide if I want to meet. Now this, you could cut this off, but like I said, I want to fold this over. Or you could cut that off and fold this one over onto the front. I just think it's going to look neater with this on the inside. So I match up the bottom flap, decide where I want this, and I'm going to go, doesn't matter. I'm going to lose that butterfly either way. And match it up to the edge. And I am going to fold it so I know where to cut it from this edge. Right? Now, here's how I do the opening for the envelope. I am going to line this up at the bottom, line it up on the sides. And I am going to fold this back so it meets the opening of the envelope. And I'm going to carefully fold it to the center, right there, where the V of the envelope comes down. I'm not going to fold it any further than that. Holding it in place again, I'm going to do this side. I'm going to again, I hope you can see this. I'm going to again fold it right to the edge. And now when I turn it over, I hope you can see this. You can. The V. So we're going to carefully cut along that edge. Okay. And I am going to glue that down. So just want to glue to the edges. You could use glue stick for this. You can use whatever your glue of choice is. I've just been using my Fabri-Tac a lot in the last couple of days. I have less trouble with it holding around the edges. I don't have to keep going back and reinforcing everything. And then line it up on your edge and your bottom and press. And that helps reinforce the flap too, or not the flap, but the opening of your envelope. Okay. And then you're going to do the same thing with the other half of your paper on the other side. So decide where which edge you want, if you want it to the left or you want it to the right. And line up your bottom. And I'm going to take this and turn it sideways. So I've got my bottom and my one edge lined up. I'm going to fold it over to meet the other edge and cut that off. And since I'm going to be folding the other flap over from the outside paper, it's not that important that it's that straight. Line it up again. Oh, I didn't do that right. I thought it looked funny. I lined it up to the edge of the paper instead of to the envelope. Silly me. Okay, line it up to the edge of the envelope, cut it off. Instant replay. Look at that. All right. All right, line it up to the bottom of the envelope and to the edges, right? So you're going to fold it this way, right to that edge of that opening. And just down to the V and fold it. And then the same on this side. You're going to fold it back. Just to that V. Then I turn it over because it's easier to see. Cut to the V. And then glue. These are really quick, especially if you're using beautiful digital papers like I am from the Antique Papery. These are my new favorite thing to use at the moment. I just started downloading digital papers not that long ago, like a few weeks ago. And of course now I'm hooked. And since it's summer, I just feel these are so pretty and summery. And then you're going to line up the bottom and the sides here. Oop. You want to line up your top too. Okay. Well, I cut that a little crooked. That's okay. My side will be covered up. My bottom, I can do something about that too. So I got my bottom a little off. See right here. But I can fix that. Everything's fixable. No big deal. Don't sweat the small stuff. So the next thing I'm going to do is this edge here kind of goes at a little bit of an angle. So I'm just going to make sure I cut those off. And then on this paper here, I'm going to cut in here. I'm going to fold this part in and glue it down, fold this part in, but I have to cut this at a little bit of an angle. And then cut this one at just a little bit of an angle so it doesn't cover our opening there. Now I could cut those off, but I'm going to fold them in because I want this to have a lot of wear and tear. I think it's going to get a lot of wear and tear. I want it to hold up. That's what I meant to say. But you want to cut it off if that's what looks best to you. You can do that. And you could do this with paper napkins. You could do this with a paper pack that you have. I find that the 8.5 by 11 papers for this size envelope are perfect. Because it pretty much just about, if you glue your envelopes together correctly, which I didn't, I didn't glue them quite close enough. You don't want them butted up against each other because you need the space for the notebook to get in and out. But I did mine a little far apart. Because, you know, if I didn't mess up on camera, then it wouldn't be a Martha video. So we are going to finish gluing this. My husband's been texting me. He's out coming back from the horses. I keep telling him, if I don't answer you, I'm not dead. I'm okay. I'm just recording. So, all right. So now you can do whatever you want to decorate the rest of this. I did not put this string on evenly. Oh my gosh. Why? Why do I do these things? Now the other thing I've been doing is I've been pulling out my scoreboard and I've been scoring these lines here so that this will bend nicely because, you know, otherwise it buckles. Now I usually wait until my glue is 100% dry to do this because it will buckle more if your glue isn't dry. That's something I found out. But you know, we get impatient and we wanna do this. All right, let's see. So I just gently work it, and you want these two edges to meet. There we go. And on these edges, I am going to put my favorite crocheted edging. If I can get all the muslin threads off of it. Oh my goodness gracious me. I think I'm gonna put the straight edge there. Look at, I have so much glue on me. Ah. So I just put this right over the tie. And you can decorate the rest of the outside of this if you want to do some more collage over the top of it, add anything to it. I've added print. I've inked with my little stamp. I have added my butterflies that I have printed on sticky papers, the Avery labels. These are the Avery labels I use. I have to print some more out though. I'm all out of my stickies. I have ferns and mushrooms and butterflies and some dragonflies and lots of things like that that I've printed out on the sticky, and I really, really love it. All right, so this has to face in. I'm not doing bad. 29 minutes. And honestly, I mean, this is not perfect, but I look at it this way. Handmade and perfection should never go together. Nobody's perfect. And if I wanted perfect, I'd go to the store and buy something made in China and, you know, give that away. But that's not what I'm doing. All right, so there's my cover. And let me get the booklet that's easy to slide in and out. Make sure it's right side up. So this would just slide right in this pocket. And this pocket could be used for coupons. It could be used for, you know, whatever you think that you'd want to put in there. And it closes up. And of course, I didn't do my ribbon the right way. My muslin, I didn't make sure it was centered. So I'll just cut the other part off. But there you go. And if you want to put muslin down the spine here, you could do that. You can put this all the way around the edge, which I may do because I just think it adds such a level of pretty to it. And you could make these with more manly fabrics and not put a tie on here, but maybe put a button and just a string tie and more of a grunge, you know, something more like that for a guy, or those who like grunge. So, you know, they come, you can do whatever you want. Here I used some cheesecloth and a mushroom sticker and a doily and a little graphics fairy bird decoration, and I put lace all around, and I have not put a closure on this yet, but I'm working on it. I'm going to figure that one out. I think I'm going to try magnets. So, you know, you can just keep going on this. Like, I'm going to take the booklet out, and that type of booklet slides in and out a lot easier than the Mead ones. The Mead ones are really thick and tough to get in and out, so I have to find some more of those. So I just take my ink and move. Keep doing this. I did this in the last video too. I did everything on my scoreboard once I pulled it out. Good way to mess up the scoreboard. So I just take my ink and just put like various things on there. Just ink it in different spots. And I think inking goes very well with these papers. And then I have another set of I don't remember what this is from. I think this is from a magazine, but I don't remember for sure. Which is sad because when I put all of my stamps in these baggies, I had all the labels, but I guess I didn't keep that label. I don't know. And I think this adds a little bit of fun to it. And then I also have this ink blot that came on it, and that's fun to use too. Don't forget the inside. Okay, one over here. I just get really carried away with these things. So I have that, and there's that. And then, you know, you could ink around the edges of everything if you wanted to. I may put some, since I messed up the inside here, I think I'll put some lace here too. Cover up that boo-boo. And, you know, you could put a pocket here if you wanted to. You just don't want it to be too bulky, mostly because, you know, if you're going to carry it around or you're going to give it to somebody as a gift, these would make wonderful, wonderful gifts, I think. You just don't want it to be too bulky, because if the person is going to add their own things to it, then, you know, it's already going to become bulky. Once you put stuff in these pockets, it's going to become pretty bulky with the journal on the other side. So this could be really an art journal. It could be anything you want it to be. Let's see if I need these the same length. I don't think. That's just long enough to go there. I'm going to put this on the outside just to help reinforce that a little. And I'm probably going to do it on my other ones, even though I didn't already do it. I am going to put a little half a strip of muslin on there. Oops. You could put it on the inside if you wanted to. I'm just afraid that if somebody uses this and it's going to get a lot of wear and tear, that it's going to, you know, not be a good thing. I could put some of that over the top. I don't think I will right now. So there you go. What do you think? You guys think this is a nice idea? I do. I hope these do really well at the sale too. Okay, my printer stopped printing and now it's printing again. I don't know. It's a very strange printer. I did tell it to print a whole bunch of pages at once. So maybe it had to, or maybe it's not printing again. All right. There. Isn't that pretty? Actually, it goes this way. Isn't that pretty? And you could embellish this with, you know, anything that you have that you want to put on it. Like, I'm all about the butterflies at the moment, and maybe a stamp. Maybe we'll put like a stamp up here in the corner, and maybe this one doesn't have any butterflies on it, so yeah. Do we want a giant butterfly? Nah, not really. I don't think so. Don't want a moth. Now I've run out of the ones with stickers. So, nah, too busy. Nope. Nope. Maybe. I just dropped one. Oh, that'd be pretty. It's got the right colors in it. Let me see. I have no idea. There it is. Come over here, butterfly. All right. So, let's see. Let me see what I did here, because I think I put this in the other side. So I think I want this to be my front and that to be my back. So if my journal went in this way, yep. So I'm going to put the stamp. I want that one. No, that one came out with this one, and I don't think that's the one I want. I want that one. Yes. Is this a sticker? I can't tell my stickers from my heavy paper that I print on, so, and they got all mixed up when I switched everything over to my new ephemera keepers. All my stuff got mixed up. So there's that. And I think I'm going to put this right here in the corner. Yep. I like it. So after I do this, I'm probably going to add a few more embellishments. I don't know. But I am going to stop the video for now and answer my husband's text. Maybe he'll bring me lunch. Yum. That would be nice. There. So there it is. This is the notebook for it. And this is the closure. There we go. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you being here. I love you guys. You're the best. Leave comments below, especially about finishes for this kind of thing. If you have a favorite one, let me know what it is. And I hope you're staying cool because we are really roasting here in Virginia. It's supposed to be like 103 or something today with a heat index of like 104 Fahrenheit. That's a lot. That's pretty hot. And we're going out later today. We're going to go look at a house. And I don't know what'll come of that. But anyway, we're going to go look. We're crazy to go today. But we're going to go look. And my information is listed below in the description box. So if you're curious about anything you see here, please check that out. And I will leave a couple of links below for the papers I used. And you guys take care. I really appreciate it again. Thank you. Bye.